on Clifford Today's show. I'm Clifford Today, and you're not, and he's not. That's Nick Gundy over here. It's just me and Nick today, and we're all high energy because they say that the energy starting off your podcast determines the energy of the rest of the show. So we'll see how that goes. I don't know. For some reason, right now I'm feeling a little mellowed out. Maybe because I've been at home mostly all day, not really doing anything. Well, I have been doing some things. I've been prepping for this episode, and I was doing a little bit of cleaning, plus a little bit of songwriting. It's a little
lucky.
Yeah. How have you been today, Nick? What have you been up to?
Well, I did not songwrite. I haven't been letting myself sit down and write and even rewrite some stuff. Mainly because if I didn't share it already, because like my memory is blanking. I've been practicing my big bass right there.
Right.
For an audition coming up in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, I don't know if you've mentioned it on the show, but we have talked about it. So that's right. The audition that's coming up.
Yes.
Okay. You nervous?
Well, I just don't know if my skill set is going to catch up on time.
Oh, well. And what's it? Did you mention what it was for?
Yes. So there is a position for associate principal bassist for the local orchestra.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's a bit above my skill set.
I don't know.
Now, I mean, because like
you just gotta believe in yourself.
Well, the thing I gotta do is practice.
Yeah.
Gotta practice 40 hours a day. Lane practices 40 hours a day. That's right. 2-set violin shout out.
Yeah. Well.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. Because I say like it's a bit above my skill set because because I've been inconsistently playing double bass for the past couple of years, even after acquiring it. So it's me trying to. So like realistically for me, it's trying to catch up on my skills and make sure I don't strain myself, which I've been making sure to keep an eye on. Where it's just like, all right, I was like, oh, I'm feeling it. All right, we're done for the day.
Yeah,
or for the next, or for the few hours, or for a couple of hours.
You don't want to get to the point in like in Whiplash when he's practicing hard that he's bleeding on the drum kit.
No. Oh no. That's come across my mind plenty of times.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, it's kind of the same thing. He's
because like
trying to get in the jazz band in college, and you're trying to get in the orchestra.
Yeah, but I'm not expecting much out of it. I'm just like trying to do my best.
Yeah, that's good.
To grow into my best. And besides, they also have substitution employee opportunities, though.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so like that's an option.
Yeah, true. So you should be practicing, but instead you're taking time to be on this show and talk about Sean Feucht. Yeah. Okay. So then I don't feel so guilty then.
Yeah, because like I did have plans for out of town plans, just to go out of town for the day, and I told my dad, I was like, I just can't do it. I need to practice, and I need to go to church.
Yeah. So
that worked.
Church in the morning.
No, evening.
Oh yeah, today. That's right. You have Saturday evening stuff.
Yeah.
So that's cool.
Vespers. Yep. So instead, we went out to Raider Farms because like they had a lot of little shops. I think what it's called.
Yeah.
Yeah. Big sale around there. So
it was a good day for it too. It was really nice out.
It was a lot of clothing though.
Oh yeah.
A lot of clothing's for sale. So there was only there's like at least 2 or 3 stands that did catch my eye.
Okay.
Yeah. Some of them included like with those like those folded leather notebooks.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that
Like real
and
leather.
yeah, and then like
Nice.
I don't know if it's real leather, but it looked like real leather. And then some from
Felt like
and
it.
then yeah, and then some fountain pens. So I was like, oh yeah, I'm like, no, don't do it yet, don't do it yet, no.
Had to restrain yourself.
Oh yeah,
Yeah. Well, that's cool. I'm glad you still had a good day.
yeah.
I've had a decent day. Although there's this one song that I've been struggling with actually for a few years now, and I really want to make it happen. But ironically, it's a song that's about writing a song. That's about inspiration and everything. And it's just kind of ironic how much I've struggled with this song to make it feel right. But yeah, that'll come together when it comes together. But enough about us. We're just giving you guys a little life update. Of course, you can tell by the title that we're talking about some more spicy stuff today. We're talking about Mr. Sean Feucht. I did used to think that it was Feucht for a while because
Yeah.
because I think it's probably because of the show Barry, which I love. There's a character named Fuchs, so when I see his name, I think it's Sean Feucht, but it's not. It's Feucht. But we're gonna get to that. But first, there's not really much housekeeping to do. There were no comments on the last episode, which is it is what it
That's a
is.
rare.
It's a shame because I could have seen this coming, but our Michael Tate episode has already done like a couple thousand views, and then whenever we talk about something that whenever we talk about an independent artist and something that we really are passionate about, of course that doesn't do as well.
I mean, it's not our fault. People love spicy stuff.
Yeah, it's true. So we'll
I
see
think
how
Brett
well
Cooper's
this one
popular.
does. Yeah, true. I don't know. But there was
another good shout out, by the way.
Greg Cooper, you said?
Brett Cooper.
Oh, Brett Cooper. Yeah. Yes, I am aware of Brett Cooper. I never really watched her that much, but like I would come across some of her videos. But she seems like a cool dude.
Yes.
So, but yeah, she does talk about the spicy stuff, so it makes sense. But since there were no comments, there was some people might be like, what? I commented on a video, blah, blah, blah. Well, I don't read comments from older videos that we've already talked about. I try to, trim it down to just the last episode. But there was a comment on an old video of mine that I wanted to highlight really quick because it was just really cool for me, at least, assuming that this is real. So a few years ago, I did a video. It wasn't an I'm Clifford Today show episode. It was just a regular video that I did with my buddy Mitchell. It was called The Goodest of the Bad, and it was where we watched 3 different Christian movies, and we talked about them. We went through them, and we talked about our favorite. We picked which one our favorite one was, and those movies were Extreme Days, To Save a Life, and Blue Like Jazz. Extreme Days, I know, is pretty popular amongst the people in the CCM Twitter community, but it was like a movie from the early 2000s that was very early 2000s Christian youth group coded. It's a lot of fun. Some of it is kind of cheesy, but it's just really fun. That ended up being our favorite of the 3. Well, we got a comment over a week ago on that video from an account called Family Guy Clips West. And that is what they do. I looked at their channel and it's like Family Guy stuff. But they commented, Hi, Eric Hanna, the director slash writer slash producer of Extreme Days, is my dad. I loved hearing you talk about this movie.
Whoa!
Right. I loved hearing you talk about this movie. What a privilege it is to hear you speak on something I've grown so fond of. Thank you. And I don't know. I'm just going to assume that that's real because like why would someone lie about their dad being the director of some, you know, some cult youth group movie that no one really knows about. I don't know why anyone would lie about that, but it's not it's not been unknown to happen, but so I'm just going to assume that that's real, and that your dad is Eric Hanna, and it is that's the name of the director. Um, I just thought that was super awesome. So thanks, man, and I'm glad you like it because that video is one of my favorites that I've ever done, but it's also I feel like it's kind of underrated. The views aren't as good on that video, and I get it. It's like a 2 hour long video, but I don't care. um, I'm just really proud of how that whole video kind of came together, and it was really fun to talk about Extreme Days. And so I did comment. I responded back because I was like, hey, if your dad would ever be down to have a conversation on this channel, please hit me up, and have not gotten a response. So if there's any chance that you're watching right now, please, I think that would be super cool to be able to talk about that movie. And I think there's a good amount of people that would be interested in that. So I don't know. I just wanted to highlight that because that was just super cool for me. Do you remember that video, Nick, at all? The one that me and Mitchell did?
That depends how many years ago, and if it's on your YouTube channel, the
Yeah.
Clifford, or it is.
Yeah, I mean, I only have.
I gotta look.
I mean, well, I say I only have the one YouTube channel. That's not true. I have a few different ones, but this is my main one. It's the one where we sat in Chad's basement and talked for a while. Goodest of the bad. Go watch it, guys, if you haven't already. I mean, the length of the video is about as long as any episode on here, so you might as well just put it on. It's just something fun, we had a lot of fun doing it. So I don't know.
Yeah. Like when you said, like when you were talking about your earliest videos, like they're not like these videos aren't published anymore. Either you deleted them or you privated them. One of my favorite videos that Clifford ever did was during the We Are All Lucas days, and it's with you, Matt, and Griffin.
Yeah.
Where it's like you guys are just having a conversation about baseball.
Oh yeah, the baseball video. I don't know what happened to that video. That wasn't on any of my channels or anything.
Yeah, but like what the kids say, that video lives rent free in my head. Because like Clifford made the best face. Because like when Matt said, "I don't think I'm gonna do it with a straight face," he's like, "Like you want to play some catch?" And then Clifford's like, "No."
Yeah,
that was one of the best faces he's ever done.
It was, yeah. I mean, I'm not agreeing. I'm not saying like, oh yeah, it was the best face, but I think about that video.
It was the best for me.
I mean, well, yeah, they loved that face. They're like, make that face that you do. Like, okay. But yeah, I don't know what happened with that video. I've asked about that. I've asked them about it, and they never have a straight answer for me. Like, we have a lot of our other videos that we did, like with We're All Lucas, with like the little stupid promo videos that we did, and those are fun too. You can find those, but this one was just it wasn't even We're All Lucas related. It was just a one-off, just funny video that we did.
Yeah.
But Yeah, it's a very early 2010s kind of humor, just kind of like LOL random, because that was a lot of the content that we watched back then. And so, but yeah, I have screenshots of it because I took screenshots and put them on Facebook. So they're up there somewhere. In fact, I'll put that screenshot of the face that I make right there, right now.
Yeah.
I know I look so different. I know I'm a little twink back then, and without any facial hair either. But yeah, and then there's the other one where me and Griffin and Matt are looking at each other. Um, yeah, I gotta bug them again and see like what happened to that video because it's not on any of Matt's YouTube channels or anything. So yeah, I know no one cares about this, but it's fun to go down memory lane and to remember I have had an internet presence, for a while. All right, well, the fun stuff is over. We're going to
Fine.
Oh yeah, and stick around for my humble opinion at the
Yes.
end. We got John Van Dusen, Sower, Fielder, and Former Ruins. Their new music. We're going to talk about them at the end. But yeah, so we're going to talk about something that no one on the internet is talking about. We felt that it was important for us to talk about. Not really. People have been talking about Sean Feucht, not just definitely within the past few months lately, but Sean Feucht has kind of been in the controversial public eye since around the time of COVID. That was when I learned about him. So if you guys don't know who Sean Feucht is, he's a worship leader slash, I guess, evangelist. He's founded a few ministries. He used to be affiliated with Bethel, which I guess he's not anymore. Which, if that was something on Bethel's part, then that's one of the first things they've done right in a while. But yeah, so he was a former worship leader at Bethel Church. He founded the Let Us Worship movement, which that was around the time of COVID. He ran as a congressman around 2020 for California, and ultimately failed. And then that's when he started the Let Us Worship movement. He also started movements like the what was it? Burn 24/7 and Light a Candle. So he's been around for a while, but people are kind of only just. I mean, it's hard to ignore him now, but
it's pretty easy for me.
Yeah. Yeah, you've been oblivious for a while, and then I've brought this upon you. I've brought this cursed knowledge to you.
And then all you had to do was say his name, and then because if you guys watched to the end of the video, shout out to you guys. You saw my shock when I realized who he was talking about. It's like, oh boy.
Oh, in the last episode, yeah.
Yeah, because my earliest memory of him, and I had to look it up I had to look this up briefly. Back when, during 2020, one of my favorite songs, or one of my favorite worship songs at the time, was called "I Am Loved" by Maverick City Music. So that was my earliest memory, I think, of them. And he was playing guitar and singing a little bit in the background band.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
It looked like him. It might not be him, but
well, he's got it's the long curly haired. Yeah, he's got the long curly haired look that it's possible. It's possible you confused him for Brandon Lake.
That
I almost said Brandon
also
Armstrong.
Clifford read my mind because when I think of long-haired guitar worship leader, it's either Sean or Brandon.
Yeah, let's see. We can.
I can take a quick look.
I Am Love. There's Nothing Better with featuring Naomi Rain.
You just have to skip around a little bit.
Yeah. Don't worry, guys. We're coming back. Because like I think it would be more believable that Brandon Lake was in it over Sean.
And it's also the it also depends on the.
Yeah, that's him. It's Sean.
Called it.
That is him. Wow. Okay. Yeah. Put a screenshot here. That's him right there.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Well, I don't know if they probably wouldn't affiliate with him now, but
probably did.
Just given that he's like a very strong conservative. But I mean, I don't know. Who knows? Maybe he's still good friends with him. But yeah, that's crazy that you recognized him from that and had that memory.
Yeah, and I don't know. It was like I don't know. Because like from my viewpoint at that time, because like mine's way different than what it was now. So like seeing like videos and pictures from Sean Feucht's tour around the states during COVID lockdown. I mean, that freaked me out.
It freaked a lot of people out.
I was like, "What are y'all doing?" Now remember, this was me at the
time. Yeah,
this was Nick Gundy 2020.
Yeah.
So it was like that was like one of those few times where it was like, "Oh, too much." Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, that was actually my introduction to him too. I came across a trailer for his for the documentary about him that came out. It was Super Spreader, I think. He was called Super Spreader, and how like when I was watching the trailer, I was like, oh, apparently a lot of people don't like him because he's doing these this tour in the middle of COVID, and I had mixed feelings about it, and I don't want to dwell too much on all the politics and everything because there's a lot, and Sean is a very outspoken person, and granted, the thing is that there's probably a lot that he claims to align himself with that I'll also align myself with in some ways. A lot of people accuse him of being a Christian nationalist. I am not so much in that camp, but I am a conservative, and I also had, unpopular opinions about it during COVID with all the lockdowns and such. But even I was like, I don't know if I really like his attitude about all this, So, but we can talk about it. So he's been controversial ever since those times. People were mad at him because he was doing the tour and everything during lockdown. He ran as a Republican congressman, so his conservative beliefs were right out there for everyone to see, and he's being associated with Bethel. He's also associated with the NAR movement, the New Apostolic Reformation movement. So there's all that, people on the more like conservative, reformed, non-charismatic folks. He's been controversial in that sense. But lately, there have been a lot of, I guess, what you would call whistleblowers coming out and accusing Sean of a lot of more things. There's a whole website dedicated to it. I need to go back to the chat so I remember what that website is called, just in case anyone wanted to check it out. Truthandfreedomstories.com. There's a whole lot of insight there where people are, submitting their own stories. And a lot of these whistleblowers are people who worked with Sean, both as employees, as leaders, and as volunteers as well. There have been accusations of misconduct. Nothing sexual. This isn't a Michael Tate situation, as far as we know. But so far,
thankfully,
yeah.
But still equally bad.
Yes. I mean, he's still showing himself, assuming that all of these accusations are true. There is stuff that we know for sure that I think also disqualifies him to be a ministry leader. And he would probably say, like, oh, well, I'm not a pastor. I'm just a worship leader. And but you're a leader of this ministry. And with all this stuff that we're finding out about you, and the more we learn about you, it's just. But I'm jumping into a conclusion. But yeah. So he's being accused of financial misconduct and accused of spiritual abuse, leadership abuse, and cool. Yeah. You're back. I assume that you're just restarting.
Earbuds were buzzing.
Oh, it's all good. But yeah, just a lot of stuff, a lot of deception. And so we're just kind of going to have a little discussion about it and just kind of go through everything. It's not going to be like, with our Michael Tate video, we kind of just like went through all the reports and everything. Not going to do that here because there's just so much. There's just too much. And a lot of people have already kind of talked about these things. So if you want to learn more about what Sean is being accused of, check out the truth and truthandfreedomstories.com. And there's also a great podcast called Wake Up and Win, and they have a lot of really good interviews with some of these people. So I would recommend those. Like, just look up Wake Up and Win podcast and look for the episodes that have Sean Feucht in the title. So Nick, I kind of gave him a lot of homework over the past couple weeks. And you had a little bit of time. You said you were able to watch one of the videos. Which one was that again?
Now I gotta scroll back down to my YouTube history to figure out what it was.
Oh,
it was back on.
Well, if you can just remember like what the topic was and who the person was that was talking.
Oh, right, I forgot. I just look in our group chat. I'm saving time.
There you go.
Okay,
because
so it wasn't the Our Story with Burn 24/7. It was the other video, and I lost the link. I don't remember where it is.
That's okay. I guess.
Oh, wait. There it is. It was with the Justin Peters Ministries. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I listened to the Justin Peterson Ministries video.
So that's that was an interview with John Root, who worked kind of alongside Sean Feucht with the Turning Point USA faith kind of thing, and I remember he had a lot more insight about Sean's theology, and basically a lot of what John talked about was and I did want to talk about this briefly, just kind of get the politics out of the way. How John Root's impression of Sean was that Sean was very inauthentic, kind of was getting some from what I remember from this conversation, so I don't know if I'm putting my own feelings into this, but kind of getting the sense that Sean was a bit of a grifter, but also just the fact that Sean was bringing a lot of like bad theological stuff into the movement, and so John was just not feeling it, and he eventually just kind of pulled away from the Turning Point USA. Is that basically what you remember from the conversation, Nick?
Yeah, that's what it's short. That's what it's short for. Yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
it's Charlie Kirk's thing.
True point. Oh, okay, yeah. Yeah, my problem is I probably listened to this episode back on Monday, so my memory is very skewed by this point. But
sure. But so based off of what you know, what are your impressions of Sean Feucht?
I would like to know how many ministries he has founded.
So he has founded, I think, basically only the ones that I mentioned. There's just Sean Feucht Ministries. I think that's all it is right now. But he founded Burn 24/7, which was a prayer and worship movement started in 2005. And there was Light a Candle, which was an international outreach movement which hosts short-term missions trips and child sponsorships. And then he founded Hold the Line, which is a movement intended to inform and educate and inspire young people to become politically active and oppose, quote, the progressive agenda being forced upon America. And that's all from Wikipedia. So there's all that. That's basically the gist of it. And yeah, like I said, he has his own ministry, the Sean Feucht ministry, pretty much. So yeah, and then there's Let Us Worship, which was just a movement, basically a tour that he started. So yeah, he's got a lot under his resume, you know.
Yeah.
And so a lot of what he's done is that he has he's basically an entrepreneur. He has
yeah, that's pretty much it.
Yeah. He has big ideas. He's a very type A personality type of person. That seems to be what I get from a lot of the people that used to work with him that are whistleblowers now. Very charismatic, not just in the theological sense, but just in personality, and a lot of people are drawn to him. And I think that's both why he's so popular, but also I think because Sean very much reminds me of a lot of people that I've known, especially in ministry. But more often than not, a lot of those types of personalities end up being, they're charismatic and everything, but they end up being inauthentic, and not trustworthy. And so it kind of makes sense that Sean is turning out to be one of those types of people. And my fear is that the inauthenticity is a lot deeper than you would think at first. Just talking about his politics and how that's like very much a part of what he does, and how it's like integrated into his ministry, into the worship that he does and the tours and everything. And he's been on Tucker Carlson and like a bunch of conservative shows and everything, and like this stuff that he posts on social media, the politics is very, very much a part of what he does, and of who he is, and a big reason why he's so controversial for a lot of people on the left. But the thing is that what I mentioned earlier, how there's probably a lot that we line up on technically. Just the things that Sean says, it's like, well, for one thing, he doesn't really say anything new. He a lot of what he says is he's basically just a mouthpiece for whatever is like a popular conservative take. You get what I'm saying? Like, nothing too original, but just like the kind of same inflammatory stuff that you would say. Sorry, that you would like find on Twitter or Facebook or whatever. But also, he has said a lot of stuff that is pretty, pretty out there. Like, it seems that he does, promote Christian nationalism and what's called dominionism. And
Pause.
Yeah.
What's dominionism?
So basically, dominionism is, I guess, a method of evangelism, and basically thinking, the belief that, well, what, let me look it up, because I don't know if I can offer a great definition of it.
At least for me and any fellow audience that has not heard that term before.
Yeah. Dominionism is this is what Google AI says. Dominionism is a far-right Christian political ideology, also known as dominion theology, which asserts that Christians should govern and influence all aspects of society, including government, education, and business, according to their interpretation of biblical law. Okay, so that wasn't actually what I was going to explain it as, so I'm glad I looked that up. But it basically is kind of Christian nationalism, basically believing that Christians
more sounds like dictatorship with
kind of enforcing Christianity, something like that. And I don't know, there's probably some people that are kind of on the spectrum on that. There's probably not everybody probably believes one thing, and so there's probably a debate to be had. But that seems to be a lot of what he promotes, and so it's but the thing is that, and lately he's been talking a lot about persecution. That's something that he's been doing a lot lately on social media, and like claiming, like, he's been in Canada a lot, and he keeps claiming that, they keep trying to shut down my show and canceling it, and yet you have all these other Christian artists that have like, I'm currently playing in Canada right now. Like, I don't know what you're talking about. And he cries wolf, he cries persecution a lot. And it's gotten to the point where he's even said that persecution in America is worse than any other country in the world right now. And it's like,
really,
bro, what?
Really?
Yeah, it's like, listen, I know that there's a little bit of, conservative Christian conflict. We're not looked upon in the best light. There's there's a lot of anti-Christian sentiment in society today.
Yeah,
but it is not persecution.
Yeah, because because I know of some stories and aware of places around the world where for me where the Orthodox Church is actually persecuted.
Oh yeah, and the whole church, because there are countries where it's illegal to be a Christian. It's illegal to hold a church service. So I have no idea what he's talking about there. Let me. I don't know if you wanted to say something else, but I know that there's I wanted to find that quote because I didn't want to. I just didn't want to be, just talking off the top of my head.
Yep. Well,
oh yeah, here it is. So, at a Pennsylvania Kingdom to the Capitol Tour rally in October 2024, Feucht stated that Christians have abdicated authority and that the Christian nationalist event is actually not even political. This is actually the most biblical thing you can ever do. Feucht states Christian persecution in the U.S. is greater than that of other countries such as North Korea and Afghanistan, saying, I have never endured the spiritual warfare that I have in the last 2 years of going to every capital in our nation. And that was from an article in Penn Live. Well, you know what? So I don't. You might have to take that quote with a grain of salt because that's something that Wikipedia is saying, but the source that is using does not say that. So there needs to be a better source. But I do know for a fact that he on social media he cries a lot about persecution. Just recently there was he did a show in Canada where someone threw a smoke bomb, which was not cool. I guess Antifa showed up and they threw a smoke bomb, but on social media, he kept on calling it a firebomb. And there's a big difference between a firebomb and a smoke bomb. And there's like a picture of him holding it up. Like you wouldn't be able to hold it up if it was a firebomb. So I think there is a conversation to be had in terms of, especially in Canada, because Canada can be very much, anti-conservative and anti-Christian, but it seems that it's not to the extremes that he's claiming it is. So my point is that, and we'll get to the other stuff. I want to get past the whole political stuff, is that it really does feel like that he's using politics and Christianity as it seems like a facade, like especially knowing what we know about all the deception going on behind the scenes and the spiritual abuse. It's becoming a lot more plausible that I don't know if he really even believes what he believes. There is such a thing as a grifter that just uses politics and and religion to platform himself. And I get big vibes from that. I get big grifter vibes. The fact that he is so loud on so many issues it just gives me pause to think, like, I don't know. I don't know if he's genuine or not. And a lot of people do believe that. But we'll get into all the other stuff because we have to get into a little break. It's been over 40 minutes, and then we'll get back. And I wanted to talk about the actual music that he does, and we'll talk about all the other accusations going on. So yeah, sit tight, sleep. Don't sleep tight. Sit tight, and we'll be back with more uninformed takes from Wikipedia.
Yep.
Alrighty then. Hey you. Are you a Christian artist, musical artist, or a musical artist who is a Christian? Well, you got music. You got music that you made. You got music that you're trying to get out there. Do you want it to be on my show? Well, it can be. And here's how. You go to the link in the description, submit a form, fill that all out, send me your music, and we'll get the song of your choice on this segment, the Spotlight segment, and the whole world will hear your music, and it's gonna be great. And I'm out of breath for some reason. Be a Spotlight artist today, maybe not today, in the next episode, but it's gonna be fun. It's completely free. All I ask is that you promote the show, promote the episode that your song is on, and that's it. That's all I ask. But I want to support you. I want to support other Christian artists and get your stuff out there. So, yeah, let's do it, baby. Spotlight artist, become one. Be it. That's the ad. All right, everybody, we are back, and we're back with the fun stuff. We're getting back into the fun stuff.
Oh yeah, we're just warming up.
Yeah, pretty much. I wanted to get the politics out of the way because I don't always really like talking about politics on this show. I haven't even really gone deep into like exact things that like me and Sean agree with because it's not important. Honestly, no matter where you're at politically, it should just be unanimous that Sean has some issues, to put it lightly. So yeah, we talked about that. I wanted to talk about the worship. So, and this is something that I haven't really heard anyone talk about that much when like videos or podcasts where they're talking about Sean. But I just kind of put on a playlist from YouTube because I didn't want that affecting my Spotify algorithm. Yeah, just kind of put his music on shuffle and listen to a handful of songs. And
how did you do?
I mean, it was basically what I expected and a little more so. Because of course he came from Bethel, so his music is going to sound like that style and that genre. And so it's really nothing. It's nothing new. It's nothing original. It's basically what all the other modern worship bands are sounding like. I mean, he does a good job at it. I guess he's a good singer. If anything, he's found a talent for being able to lead worship. And but yeah, just like listening to it, because especially since it's most of it is live music, like from his tours and everything. A lot of it was from his the Let Us Worship tour, and it just brought me back to a lot of the worship services that I've been a part of at at camp or like at youth conventions or whatever. It's basically more or less of the same, and my goodness, was a lot of it repetitive.
Uh-oh.
Just like I mean, some of it is repetitive because a lot of it was like what they call spontaneous worship moments. Quote unquote spontaneous.
My thought went to repetitive, meaning the themes. I suppose that's kind of
more. I guess. I mean, I was more talking about just kind of just singing the same chorus over and over. But
similar structure.
Yeah, and it's like with building up with like the crescendos and everything, and having been a part of worship myself, and you as well, you get a very hands-on experience with how these songs are structured and how they're made seemingly, spontaneous or whatever, or like flowing with the spirit. There's a science to these songs, I feel like. some of them maybe aren't intentional. They're just kind of going with the flow with this style. But it was basically just a lot of that, a lot of repeating the same chorus like over and over and over, or building it up and bringing it back down, and it's all to toy with. And here's the thing: I still consider myself charismatic, and I'm not anti, having emotion in your music, in your worship music, like, oh, God forbid. But it with a lot of this genre, a lot of this style of worship music, and when you've been doing it for so long, you kind of start to sense that. It kind of goes along with the theme of Sean Feucht, but a lot of it seems very inauthentic and just kind of built to get an emotional reaction from you. And that's kind of a lot of what I sensed in his music. So, but yeah, the gist of it is that it's not original. It's more of the same worship music, and there's really nothing special about what Sean does with his music. So, sorry, Sean, but in case he's watching, sometimes I just don't take it for granted that whoever we're talking about could be watching. But yeah, so that is basically kind of what I got from his music. Did you have anything to say about that, Nick?
Well, I'm glad you pushed through.
I just listened to a handful, it's not like I listened to a whole album or anything. I was like, listen to a few songs and I'm like, all right, I get it. I get the gist, So, it did give me a good taste into what his shows are like. And I say shows because they basically are shows. It's and he's kind of like giving little messages kind of in between and getting people all hyped up, and it's just a bunch of the same thing, a lot of the same jargon about like bringing revival and everything, and it's emotionalism. It's not worship. It's emotionalism. It's based, and not to say that no one there at those shows isn't actually worshiping God and having an actual experience with God. I think it's perfectly plausible, but I'm judging basically what's happening on the stage, and um, it's just emotionalism, and just like it's structured to get an emotional reaction out of people, and it's more like it basically is more like a concert than anything. Nothing about it is really about giving actual adoration to God. It's there's something psychological about it, but I don't know. So that's the worship part of it. I do. So we've covered that. Sean is giving off big grifter vibes. His music and worship is very derivative of everything else that's going on in the charismatic modern worship movement. But there's also a lot of deception going on based off of, what we're hearing from all these different testimonies. You've got a guy who handled their finances. You've got well, that's the one thing, is that Sean's reaction to all these people coming out and saying these things about them. He has been caught lying about these people, because he's said that, like, oh, none of these people, we never worked with them. They were not actually employees. They're just disgruntled volunteers. I'm like, that is not true. Some of these people were actually on staff with you, being paid, and also saying that, like, Oh, yeah, because of all the allegations about his finances and such. And he's like, oh, well, they don't know anything about our finances. But one of the whistleblowers was actually, he handled the finances, and it turned out that he actually still had access. They didn't know, but he still had access to be able to see their finances. And as far as I know, he hasn't been kicked off just yet, but he's still able to view that stuff. So he's lying right there as well.
Yeah, because that's why I asked Clifford earlier in this episode how many ministries does Sean has owned or like at least founded, because when John Rood was talking on Justin Peters' show, because like you have that many ministries, founded that many ministries, and that might be there, there's definitely a lot more money involved depending on the impact of them.
Yeah.
And just like hearing about some of the misuse of the funds that has been gathered is shocking. Simultaneously, not shocking because like obviously he's not the first person who does it, but it's just like how impactful that has been to people negatively. Because like I still got the YouTube video from that interview up, and people can't testify to having somebody in their life who done the same thing, because like given all these, like having so many people being so influenced and to give so much to certain ministries and people. I'm losing my thought.
You're good.
But regardless, one example is in the comments says this person's dad gave everything he had to the 700 Club, for example. In the early 80s, 10 years later, he gave money to Benny Hinn. I don't know who that is.
Oh, now he's don't get me started on Benny Hinn.
I don't want to know. Guys, I'm too preoccupied. Continue on. It says this person says he's living paycheck to paycheck. It's really hard not to say I absolutely despise these people. Somebody needs to hold them accountable. So I hold no despising. I hope for their repentance, and that like that's their takeaway. In that video as well, because just like what we do for the other past videos that we've done, we say all these because we care.
Yeah.
And like in this case for these circles, because like I'm not part of it. It's no concern to me. Like even in my own circles, there's like if there's a case for ostracization or excommunication, it's only a means so people get themselves in check to work on working on their repentance. And just like and it's just like a matter of them willing to accept it or not.
Right. Yeah. And I know that I'm probably going to come off pretty strong in this episode, but it's only because, you know, a lot of these interviews that I've heard with all these, you know, former volunteers and former staff members, pretty much all their responses are like, we want repentance from Sean. We don't want to have to do this. And we're not trying to like, you know, ruin his career or anything. We're not trying to cancel him, but we want some accountability. We want him to confess to what he's done and for him to come to repentance. And I think that is completely admirable. But I might just come off a little jaded because like I've gotten all this information and it's like, dude, I don't know. Like, I don't know if I'm not sure how genuine. I'm not even sure how genuine his faith is. It's like, personally, for me, if we found out that it was just all an act for Sean, I would not be surprised. But I don't know Sean like a lot of these people. A lot of these people who worked, you know, close with him, uh, and they still believe. They're like, yeah, I think he's a believer, but he just doesn't seem to know what he's doing, you know. And so they're kind of giving him the benefit of the doubt. Me, I don't know so much, but that's just me. I would also want him. I want everyone to come to repentance. And yeah, you're right. We do this because we care, you know, and I just and I care about the people that he's hurting. You know, it frustrates me from my core because you know I was raised as a pastor's kid. Like I know firsthand what ministry is like, and I've known some bad actors, and so it always frustrates me when I hear about people like this who do this stuff because they're hurting they're hurting our witness. Um, and like you know, no one can you know, God is always going to be God, and you know we can't always change people's perception of them. But you know, when we're the light of the world, we are a reflection of God, and it frustrates me when people like Sean Feucht not only just like look bad to people on the internet, but like just the people that he worked with. Like imagine like what if he like actually like hurt someone's feelings to the point where they left the church, you know. And I don't like thinking about that, you know. Um so yeah, I get a little passionate about these things, but it is because I care. And yes, I do hope that Sean comes to repentance, but we're we're doing the job of airing out all this dirty laundry so that he realizes what he's done, what he's doing, if he doesn't know already. But yeah, the funny thing about the finances, because that's another aspect. The deception and the finances go together. Um, there
Yeah, because
there
the
was
finance
a
parts that like that caught my attention a bit more. And since like there's a little bit more
mhm.
info to it, because like you know they say money talks. So like
Yeah.
what they so like the things that were going. So all the like I said, all the money, all that money that was funded going to all sorts of things and some luxuries. I mean, I can't name all of them. Like first class tickets for airplanes. I mean, like that's the most that I remember from the interview. And
Well, also
as
the
that's just one example.
yeah, and also the guy who was, you know, who handled the finances and such, you know, according to him, again, a lot of this is alleged, you know, this is based off people's testimonies. Um, but he has stated that he heard from Sean himself brag about the fact that he would use um like their funds for his own personal stuff,
Yeah,
like you know,
that
to
one too.
like eat, yeah, to like eat at a fancy restaurant or just you know this or that, and just kind of bragging about it. And then the guy is just like, I don't think you should be doing that. And it's just crazy. And also there's a Rolling Stones report that came out that basically I think it was before 22. Well, the gist of it is that at some point, Sean Feucht Ministries or whatever had only like a net worth of like a few $100,000, and then all of a sudden, the very next year, they're worth millions. And a big reason is because, and I'm not a financial expert or anything on taxes or whatever, but Sean, what he did is that he basically classified his ministries as a church so as to avoid
Oh,
taxes, you know. So, and this is hard evidence, you know, we know this to be true. And so it's stuff like that that just seems like very sneaky and just don't know how I feel about that. And there's also like that kind of goes along the lines of what he's doing during COVID, was that when he wasn't being allowed to play his like do his worship services or whatever, he would say, well, what if we classified it as a protest? And so basically, because he called it a protest, they were allowed to do it, which, yeah, I mean, you could kind of go into kind of the hypocrisy about like, there was some hypocrisy going around when, we were told to stay in our homes, and then they're like, oh, but if it's a protest, you can go ahead. It's like, okay, dude, you're not going to allow us to go to funerals of our family members, but whatever. That's a whole different thing. But it's just that just kind of goes to show you what kind of person that Sean is that he will slip and slide, just to avoid, not paying enough money. That's what he did with a lot of employees, according to their testimonies, is that they would ask, like, there was this one lady who would like that handled their merch.
Yep.
And she said she basically only signed on to be part-time, like 15 hours, and that's how much she was going to be paid. However, her workload started to get more and more, like a lot more than 15 hours. And when she asked if they could, give her more hours, she was denied. And so there were so many different examples of where Sean purposefully, intentionally stayed away from paying people more money when he could have, and they totally had the money to do it. But he's basically being like a Scrooge, like just having a tight hold on the finances for some reason. And yet he's perfectly fine with using the funds for his own personal pleasures, So yeah, just a lot of the deception and misuse of finances. And on top of that, there's a lot of spiritual abuse going on, because a lot of these same people who are coming out with these allegations, there's stories of how, like, basically everyone knows that Sean, whenever there's someone who leaves the ministry for one reason or another because they had a falling out or something, Sean would always talk bad about them and like basically spread lies about them, saying that like, oh, they're becoming more liberal now, or they're like, they're not even Christian anymore, blah blah blah, and basically bad mouthing everyone that he had a falling out with. And just a lot of stories like that, and just like, making people work hard without getting much back, and I understand that, like, with ministry, there are personal sacrifices that are made often in ministry, and sometimes you got to do it with a willing heart. But when you're a leader of your ministry, you make sure that the people that are on your team are taken care of. You make them your priority, or else they're serving you. And it's this,
it just pretty much sounds like what his ministries are.
It's all about him. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's Sean Feucht Ministries. I mean, at least you can say about like Elevation Worship or Hillsong or whatever, like they're a team, I mean, yeah, of course they have their big personality still, but like Sean Feucht, he's just Sean Feucht. It's all about Sean Feucht, and he makes it all about him. All the attention is all on him. And that's basically how it seems that he leads his people, yeah. The more I learn about him, the more I'm frustrated, and the fact that like I was like, now that I've listened to some of his music on YouTube now and watched videos about him, now I'm getting some of his videos in my feed, and I'll go to his videos and I'll see in the comments just all these people like giving him praise and love and everything. It's like, man, even through all this controversy, you still got these people that they probably don't know. Honestly, they are not aware, but now they've put him on a pedestal now. But yeah, what were you? Did you have any thoughts about that, Nick?
Nope.
No. I just want to make sure. I want to make sure I'm not dominating the conversation. But I guess the other thing too about Sean is that there's just allegations and everything aside, it just seems that the way that he deals with things is that there's just a kind of just a mean spirit, honestly. Like he's been known to like be mean to people that disagree with him or that are against him or whatever. He had a little altercation with Mike Winger, who Mike Winger is one of my favorite. I guess
familiar.
Yeah, I've.
He might be familiar. Where's he at?
He's on YouTube.
Well,
he
probably, but
he's from
any brand.
Redding, California. That's where he's from. Or I think he's from Redding. I know he's from California. He does a lot of like apologetics on YouTube, and just like going through things biblically and such. And lately, he's actually been kind of he's taken up the responsibility.
No, I don't think it.
Okay.
No, I don't think he's familiar. I might be thinking of Matt Walsh. They almost look alike.
Oh, yeah, they kind of do. Yeah, Matt Walsh is from Daily Wire. Matt Walsh and Mike Winger have they have the same initials. I just realized MW.
Yeah.
Very different personalities. Both lean like Mike Winger leans conservative and he's Christian and everything, but Matt Walsh is a lot more stern and tough. Mike Winger's he's just got a lot of love for everybody. But that all being said, Mike Winger has kind of been going against being a charismatic himself. He's bringing to light a lot of charismatic leaders that are, doing that. He actually has done a video on Benny Hinn, actually. He had a whole long video just kind of going through all the stuff that Benny Hinn has done. And he had a little bit of an altercation on Twitter with Sean Feucht. I forget what exactly it was about, but Sean Feucht comes out and responds to him accusing Mike of being a triple vaxxer. And I forget what else it was, but it was like, oh, check out this triple vaxxer, whatever. And Mike's like, none of that is true. Like, I have, like, because I've followed Mike for a while. It's like, I don't even know how you would, like, where would you get that? Like, so, I mean, there you go again with just the straight up lying and just making up stuff. But he's also just very mean, So I don't know, Sean, you got to calm down. If you're truly doing this like out of ignorance, then please just realize what you're doing and that your actions are hurting people. Their personality, you need to have some accountability and also some humility as well. And I just hope that you come to a point of repentance. And that's what I mostly want, because like I'm not looking to like get anyone fired or anything. I just want I want them to come truly surrender to Christ in all their actions. And what does that mean for us? Let's talk about what this means for us. I mean, we're
mostly for you.
Well, what I'm saying is, this is a Christian music channel. we like to talk about music as much as possible. The reason why we're talking about Sean is because he is in that, because unfortunately the line between worship music and Christian music has been blurred. Worship music has become a part of the CCM industry
in the Protestant world.
Well, I mean, just like in the contemporary Christian music industry, I mean, Matt Maher, he's a big name and he's Catholic.
Well, so, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not talking about Matt. I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm not talking about the Catholic artists. They do good, but I'm just like,
Right. Yeah. But you understand what I'm saying.
But
the mainstream Christian music world has blended in with I guess Protestant worship, technically.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's why we're talking about Sean Feucht, and we're not going to talk about all these other controversies going on with spiritual leaders. This is our opportunity to do that. But so what does that mean for us as consumers of music? I don't know a lot of people who actually listen to Sean Feucht or a lot of that music, but it's basically the same kind of conversation we've had about Hillsong worship, elevation worship, all of the Bethel as well. All those kinds of churches and ministries where they're not just a worship band, but they're affiliated with the church that they're a part of.
I'm like more so. It's just they're all just brands in their own right by this point.
Yeah, exactly. And all of those churches and worship bands have their controversies, with their theology, with their leadership. Hillsong has had their issues with their pastors, with Brian Houston and Carl Lentz and all that. And so we've had that conversation about, like, should we be listening to this? When we listen to it, especially on Spotify, and when we download their albums, we're supporting them in a way. I mean, I know Spotify, it's not that very much, but still, you're giving them support in whatever way. And so, like, that is still, I still think that that's up to the individual and their convictions and everything. I don't judge people for listening to any of these bands or artists. That's up to their convictions. But I guess what I would say, my encouragement is to be mindful of these things. If you are a Sean Feucht fan, if you like his music, be mindful of that, of all these things that Sean is being accused of, and have definitely, some of them have been proven. If you just kind of look at Sean's personality, be mindful of that the next time that you put on one of his albums or stream one of his songs. So yeah, I don't know, Nick, what do you think of that?
You guys probably already know my answer. Just hit the ginormous skip button.
Yeah, I mean, I would say that, like, I am saying for you to make your own decision and to be discerning, but I would ultimately just say, just don't listen to him. Don't support it. I mean, it's not really, it's a lot of it isn't really good theology anyway, and it's not good worship music. So, man, I'll tell you, I was listening to Sovereign Grace.
What was it? I think we either talked about it or I heard somebody else talk about it. Like the current worship scene, it's like a beautiful box. It's a no. Okay. Anyway,
were you saying that? I think you said that.
Maybe it was me. It's like a beautiful box, and it's empty.
But nothing's in the box. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I remember like, you said that at some point.
There's no weight. There's no substance.
Yeah. I mean, it's all just flashy and purdy and everything.
It's not. Well, I've shared about it plenty of times on the I'm Clifford Today show that, like, in my final year as a Protestant, like, it wasn't doing it for me.
Yeah.
I was real, and I was realistically doing the same thing on a Sunday morning that I usually would do at a gig, at an open mic, at a house show, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
Mm-hmm.
So there was no line. There was nothing was helping me. So I had to go. So I had to go look somewhere else. Thank goodness I have.
Yeah. And you know, that's worked for you. I've I've been able to, you know, find my, well, I guess for lack of a better term, comfort zone, you know, because we came from the same spaces and they were
Mm-hmm.
doing a lot of the same kind of worship music. And
Mm-hmm.
since I have not, you know, I have not totally rejected my charismatic upbringing, you know, I still value a lot of those things in a church. I have stepped away from the heavily emotionally driven shallow worship music, and I've been able to find, well, for one thing, my own church does a really great job at picking songs that have a good amount of, well, not just a good amount, but it's all sound theology. You know, we're not like a, you know, 1800s Presbyterian church, you know, just like singing old hymns or anything. We do sing a hymn from time to time, but the music is still contemporary. um but a lot of, you know, they do a great job at selecting the songs that are edifying to the body, and you know that it is actual good worship music. And some of the artists that they pick are actually artists that I like. um the last week, I I listened to an album that I missed out on last year, the latest album from Sovereign Grace, which I highly recommend them. Sovereign Grace music, very sound theological music. And I was listening to their latest album, and I just loved it. It was like, man, I'm like, this is like affecting me, kind of just like listening to this, because it's awesome lyrics and also great music at the same time. Um, so that's kind of my happy place right now. And so the problem with a lot of the modern worship is that it's like, I know, you know, take a shot of orange juice. Uh,
Okay.
it's a lot of it is emotionalism, and a
Just
lot of
water.
it is just, yeah, just water, just drink water. A lot of it is emotionally driven. A lot of it is lyrics that really have no substance. They seem nice, and also a lot of it, to be honest, is very me centered, narcissistic, and it's not even really, it's not worship. You know, on the surface it might seem like it because we're talking about the things that God has done for us, and I think that that's okay from time to time. But when that becomes the sole purpose, and also when you're going into a worship setting trying to get some sort of experience out of it, you're losing the point of worship. The point of worship is to give God praise, not to receive anything from it. Oftentimes we do, and that's good, and I think that's a gift from God, but that is not the end result that we should be looking out for. Because what if you go, and this happened to me a lot, what if you go into a worship service setting and you're looking for that spiritual high and you just don't get it? What then?
I
Was
mean,
it a bad worship service?
I mean that was like pretty much my whole like most of my life. Or just
Mm-hmm.
like if I don't remember if I've talked to you about it, because like, am I doing something wrong if I'm not feeling anything like everyone else is? Or if I
Mm-hmm.
fake it, does something happen? It's like only like I don't remember if it ever happened or has happened or it has happened
Mm-hmm.
before my full conversion. But anyway, I was a I did I, I probably did have. Oh, well, hold on,
It's
man.
okay.
Yeah, because like
I mean, I get what you're saying, you know, and that's why I have a big problem with how a
yeah,
lot
because
of
like it seems
charismatic
like
churches handle
yeah, because
worship.
like it seems like I was doing something wrong. And it's like, oh no, you're not doing anything wrong. You're just not. You gotta go somewhere else.
Mm-hmm. you're experience chasing, basically.
Yeah.
You're basically trying to get something that you would normally get at a concert or something like that. I
Yeah.
mean, that's basically what it is.
Yeah, because like we were yeah, because like that's a that's been a problem with like a lot of Protestant circles. Like the tactic has been for a couple of decades to, in order to bring people of the culture, we should act like them, make a counterculture, kind of like that,
Mm-hmm.
kind of like a alternative or like a substitution to actual culture,
Mm-hmm.
like to imitate like the worldly art and imitate that and make their own, where it's actually supposed to be, and it still is the other way around, where where Christianity in its truth and beauty found in Holy Orthodoxy, it's like truth is oh no, I'm losing my train of thought. Truth is beauty. There's beauty.
Right.
There's beauty. There's beauty in truth, and we create that, and people are drawn into it and are and are inspired
Mm-hmm.
by it.
Yeah. I mean, there
And me
are
and Clifford, and me and Clifford were talking about it before we started recording about the war on beauty, because
mm-hmm.
because the spaces we are in, and even with how we dressed, with the exception of, I mean, I know being if we're being hypocritical by the way we're dressing right now with our rooms. Okay, besides our setups, there needs to be hard work. There needs to be struggle. There needs to be challenges, because when we go outside of the church, and now just a reminder, guys, when me and Clifford say the church, we're talking about two different things. And I'm losing my train of thought again.
Well, I mean, I would say the church is, just the body of believers, no matter what denomination, if you're a believer, if you're a Christian, you're a Christian, that doesn't mean to say that everyone, like, I don't think that every Protestant every person who claims to be a Protestant is a Christian. Same thing, on the, Catholic or Orthodox side, that's more of a heart thing. But the church for me is the overall, like, body of believers. And, everyone has different ways of worshiping. My thing is that it has to be Christ-centered, and like you were saying with like the war on beauty, there has to be
because like there's an order.
Effort.
Yeah, because like that's what I was trying to get at. But it's like there is a order and structure of things.
Mm-hmm.
God established a correct way of us worshiping Him,
mm-hmm.
and all of it, and not a lot of people are doing that. Anyone who has, like, for any generations, but like God, but still with some respect, God meets everybody where they're at. He's met me where I'm at, and
right.
Let me home to the truth faith, because like that's where I was getting at. So like where we're at, our spaces need to reflect our life.
Mm-hmm.
So like so that's why for an Orthodox churches, and even the Coptic Orientals and Byzantine Eastern Catholics, like a good amount of missions parishes, cathedrals, even the Hagia Sophia in Turkey, all surrounded by iconography of so many stories, and the clouds of witnesses.
Mm-hmm.
that word that was talked about in Hebrews, which is my life verse. Is that we're going? Is that those are reminders that we're going somewhere? That we are going somewhere, and we need to be in these spaces that reflects that. But also, in true worship requires true humility. Lay down my own prayer. I mean, that's what I've had to do. I'm probably still. This will probably still take me a while to lay down my own preferences. To what the church teach me, well, God through the church teach me how to be restored, continue healing, be restored.
Mm-hmm.
That He desires all of us to experience theosis, which is not experienced in other groups that I've been in and encountered.
Mm. Well, because I think
now that's another. Now, sorry. Now that's my tangent. Clifford has his. That's my tangent for the night.
Well, yeah. I mean, I just kind of come from the perspective. I mean, we're coming from two different camps, and my perspective is that like I said earlier, if you're a Christian, you're a Christian, and I don't really believe in just as long as you hold to the main orthodox beliefs, then you're good in my book. But I think that there is a lot of beauty in the different ways that, and I know we have gone off on this tangent. We were talking about Sean Feucht, and now we're just talking about worship in general. I think there is beauty in the different ways that different, denominations of Christianity and the way that they worship. I think there is beauty in the way that the Catholics and the Orthodox worship, and I also think that there's beauty in the way that the Southern Baptists and the Presbyterians worship, and even in the way that Charismatics worship. I still have a big heart for that. I think the main point is that we need to keep Christ at the center of it. We can't get distracted by seeming hip, we can't get distracted by our own narcissism. We need to keep Christ at the center of it. And when we keep Christ at the center of it, that's when we can be motivated to, like you were saying, like to put more effort into it and to bring the beauty into worship. It's not that we have a problem with worship songwriters making beautiful music, whether it sounds modern or not. It's the fact is this going to bring glory to God, or is this going to be distracting? Is this taking people away from Christ, or is it pointing to Him? That's my heart with worship. No matter if it's Gregorian chants or Protestant hymns or Sovereign Grace music or Keith and Kristen Getty or whatever. That's basically my heart behind it. And I don't really get a lot of any of that with a lot of the popular modern CCM worship. And it's basically become an industry anyways, and it's all driven by money and streams anyways. So, and my throat is getting dry, so I'm going to take a sip. Well, you're not supposed to take a sip too.
What? It's a water break.
Well, I was expecting you to give some sort of response as I drank, but I don't know if you had anything more to add to that.
Yeah, because in this context, like I still listen to all sorts of music outside of liturgical worship, because like that's the personal boundary I draw.
Mm-hmm.
Because like during church time, the music that we do is solely for the services.
Mm-hmm.
It's appropriate. Now there are variants of it, of things like the cherubic hymn that I listen, and even Our Father in the Lord's Prayer, like from choral recordings that I listen. Outside of it, those are fine. Those are fine. I'm at a point where I'm so divorced off from current CCM. I don't even listen to it anymore.
Yeah.
But the past times I did,
Unless I make you to it.
It was just more. Yeah, it's just more. Yeah, like in the past, it was just more of a jam-on, but I haven't done jam-on because like even I haven't done that in years. So it's like, well, what's the point? I just like, it's not. I mean, it's not. It hasn't done anything for me.
Yeah,
really.
I get that. Yeah, it's kind of like.
It was like I draw. Like I said, I draw the line, because like there's a time and a place.
Yeah, absolutely, I agree. Sometimes
that's what I've been going with.
And I've felt the same way too. Sometimes I'm like, it kind of feels weird to like use worship music as like a personal playlist. But like I said the other day, last week when I was listening to Sovereign Grace music, it really did, it felt appropriate for me at that time, and it was actually kind of, helping me out. So, but yeah, there's a time and place for everything. I've been thinking a lot about worship music because here's a little life update for me. In a few weeks, I'll be guest worship leading I'll be leading a worship service for the first time in years, actually. Like a whole service to myself. I was asked to lead worship at a church, and so
is that yours or somebody or somewhere else?
It's somebody else's. It's an Assemblies of God church in another town, and so
how about that?
They asked me to come in because their team was going to be on vacation or something. So I'm stepping in, and so it'll be the first time, not the first time that I've done worship. I've been more involved at my church in the worship, but it'll be the first time I've led a worship service in a long time. And that's going to be weird because
it's been since COVID.
So, yeah, since I left the church that I was at, I've basically taken a break from leading worship for a while, but I've kind of come back to a place where I've kind of felt the thirst to do that again. So so you guys can be in prayer for me about that.
Yeah, good job for you, but obviously for me, I'm not going back.
Well, I was going to ask you to play with me.
No. If you really were, I'm sorry. I already drew that boundary.
No, I figured. I knew.
Because like, no, absolutely not.
Yeah, I knew. I remember you did actually come in and volunteer a couple times at my church.
Yeah,
years ago.
That's a couple years ago. That was fun. So that was like the last time we actually did a worship set together.
Yeah. Anyways, moral of the story: don't listen to Sean Feucht unless he repents and shows accountability for his actions, and listen to better worship music. That's our unique take on it. I feel like not many people really go with the perspective with the music and the worship, so I thought that we could bring that perspective. But speaking of and just leave a comment on the video, because we didn't get any comments in the last episode. But leave a comment, give us your thoughts. were we too harsh with Sean? What are your opinions on that? Excuse me. Speaking of opinions,
what's it time for?
It's time for my humble opinion.
Yeah!
Cue the kid sound effect.
Yeah!
I probably could. I think I. Oh yeah, there's a. Cheering. Yay! My humble opinion. Okay, that's like 36 seconds long. It's like, okay, we don't need that.
Moly.
I wish there was a kid one though. Anyways, it's time for my home opinion, and try not to keep you too long, Nick. I know it's late, but we've got new music from. Well, we have first of all we have a debut album from Fielder, and then
it's her debut. Nice.
Well, as a group, I mean, we'll talk about them
as a group. Oh, okay.
It's a duo. It's Sky Peterson and Addison Agen. I think I'm pronouncing her name right. But they're together. They form Fielder, and this is their debut album together. And then we also have.
We talked about one of them last year, didn't we?
Yeah, we talked about Sky Peterson, who is the daughter of Andrew Peterson. So that's why I knew about it, because I knew Sky Peterson. And then we've got 2 new singles from Former Ruins. I believe he's come out with a 3rd single since we decided to talk about these 2, but we haven't listened to those. So we're going to talk about New Attachment and The Field. And then we've got the latest single from John Van Deusen, and then the latest single from Sower. And all those last 3 people that I mentioned are Audio Feed alumni. So just throwing that out there. But so those are singles. But let's talk about the album.
Wait a minute. So Foreign Ruins, was that Audio Feed?
Former Ruins. Yep. I don't think he wasn't there last year, but I believe he was there the year before and the year before that. Last time I saw him, he had a full band, and the time before that, he was solo. And that was my introduction to him, basically, at the time. So, so yeah. But yeah, let's talk about the album first.
Yeah.
So, like I said, it's a debut album from Fielder, and the album is self-titled Fielder, and it is it's a duo of Sky Peterson and Addison Agen. And Addison Agen apparently was a finalist for The Voice on season 13. And I did not know that until 2017, apparently.
Wow.
Yeah, she's got
That's what confuses me about The Voice. They do 2 seasons a year, and then sometimes I'm like, wait, how many? Like they debuted like around 2011, 2012, and I'm like, at 20 plus seasons, I was like,
yeah, I think it's TV logic, where sometimes TV shows will have more than 1 season in a year, but I could be wrong. I've never followed a whole season of The Voice. I mean, there was when Leah Marlene was on it.
No, that's American Idol.
Oh, well, same for American Idol.
Well, yeah, so
even though we had someone that we knew that was an American Idol, I don't have TV, so I've never followed it like that.
I knew of a college friend that made it up to Hollywood Week for 1 year of American Idol.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. And then my friend Tyler, that was Adam Curry. Now he's a live guitarist for Brantley Gilbert, and our other friend from college, Tyler Kors, he did a blind audition for The Voice. Well, about 4 years ago, 3 to 4 years ago. Yeah.
Okay.
He did. Yeah,
I
he
think
did.
someone else, I think Ariel Petrie. I think she also did an audition
Yeah,
for one of those shows.
did. Yeah, now she's Now she's a Twitch partner.
Yeah, that's right. Last time I saw her. Anyways, enough of this name
Sorry.
dropping of people that probably don't know. But so yeah, Sky Peterson and Addison Agent come together. Sky Peterson is the daughter of Andrew Peterson, but she has made her own name, with her own solo stuff lately. But yeah, this is their new biggest new thing for both of them, and it's got a very I did. I'll read their I want to read their Spotify artist profile because I think it
Oh, me too.
describes a lot about them. Fielder is the Nashville-based duo of Addison Agent and Sky Peterson, inspired by artists like Patty Griffin, Phoebe Bridgers, Noah Gunderson, and Casey Musgraves. Fielder's music is thoughtful, spirited, and heartfelt. So I knew that you would appreciate that because you like Noah Gunderson and Casey Musgraves, right?
And Phoebe. But
And Phoebe.
it's also been a while since I listened to both of the ladies' music.
Yeah. But I can
Yep, a
definitely
fantastic. Yeah.
I can definitely hear the inspiration for sure.
Now I can actually hear it a little bit better.
Yeah. Um I think it's a pretty decent album. I think we've said this term on the show before, but it's a good vibes album. Especially I really enjoy the first couple tracks. Like Good Things Come and Overthink It Baby, Satellite. I like Elvira as well. Sorry.
Yeah,
Um,
that was a good one too.
yeah. The only thing is it has some good moments with some really beautiful production. Which, by the way, shout out Asher Peterson produced this album. He is the brother of Sky Peterson, but he also has produced 2 albums for Benjamin Daniel.
Okay.
So he's a good producer. I think the album sounds really good and it has some really catchy melodies. And both Sky and Addison, they sound really good together. Overall, though, and I'm curious what your feelings were on it.
I am
Is
certain
that
that's going to be opposite.
well?
Lay it
I'm
out.
just the album. I think it gets weighed down by its genre and its style, and it doesn't really go anywhere incredibly exciting or interesting. After a few tracks, it gets a little boring and uninteresting. So it's not a bad album. It's a great vibes album, but for me, I kind of forgot I was listening to it halfway through. so so yeah, it's good, but it doesn't really wow me in any way personally, except for just a handful of tracks that I really enjoyed. So yeah, I don't know what were your feelings? Did you have similar feelings or nah?
Well, out of the 3, 4, so like this one out of the 3 other entries, this was actually a really good entry. So that and then I just saved it on my monthly playlist.
Mm-hmm.
So if anybody's interested, I compiled together a playlist for each month of the year, each month of the year. So like anything that catches my attention, I'll put that together.
Oh.
Now, granted, I don't listen to all the things that I put on the playlist like I used to anymore. But I was like, it might catch the attention for somebody else that's never heard before. I'll just like lay out their name, shout out their names, and be like,
Mm-hmm.
hey, check this out. So it's like bring people together, maybe make bridges. I don't know, but yeah, because like
That's what music does.
Yeah. So like
brings people together.
Mm-hmm. So like yeah. Clifford says so like nothing exciting or new, nothing surprising on this album because like it's good because like it's catchy enough for me to come back to it. Like it's subtlety, it's calmness.
Yeah.
A great pregame to fall.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, I'm ready. Bring it. And it makes it, and like for some of their songs, it made me think, I'm like, oh man, this would sound good on lap steel guitar.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, it's a good vibes album, but that's kind of really all it is for me, personally. But maybe that's all they were going for. Maybe they weren't really going for anything too challenging, and that's fine. It's a perfectly fine album, but I don't really see myself going back to like a full album listen aside from just going back to a couple of the songs personally. So it sounds pretty, but
Yeah,
that's about it for me. But I'm glad that you liked it. It makes sense that you would like it. I should like it. It seems like something that I would like. But maybe that's the problem, is that I've listened to so much music in this genre that I love that now it's gotten to the point that it has to do something different to get my attention. You know? So
I mean that's what Noah Gunderson's for.
yeah. I have liked what I've heard of Noah Gunderson I've liked. I still need to I need to do a Discog run of his music. So yeah. That's that. That's Fielder's debut album. So good job, Fielder, and keep it up.
Yep.
All the good things come. They come when you're not looking.
Yep.
Next we've got a couple new singles from Former Ruins. And Former Ruins is man, I was trying to find his name. What's his name? I think it's Levi. I think Levi's his name. I should have this. I knew I should have written this down, but I think I'm pretty sure it's Levi. It's his solo project, and I've really liked his stuff since I first discovered him. He had an incredible album a couple of years ago called No Creatures Hidden. And he's got a new one coming out, and I'm really excited because these new tracks have a bit of a new energy to them, especially New Attachment. I really like his style. I like his he's got almost kind of a similar singing voice to mine, kind of deep, you know.
Yeah.
I'm sure he gets this all the time, but very reminiscent of The National. In fact, I'm pretty sure he has been very inspired by The National. But that was one thing that surprised me about these singles, is that they sound different. They don't really sound derivative of The National. They sound like something new that he's doing, in my personal opinion.
Yeah, like back a couple of years ago, like someone like when I asked what my music sounded like for other people, and someone else mentioned The National as well.
Yeah.
And I remember taking a glimpse in their music, and I'm like, I don't hear anything.
Yeah, I wouldn't have. Oh, there's his name, Levi Dylan Sykes. That's what yeah, it's right there.
Okay.
In the, I've Sherwood Forest has gotten that comparison too, and whenever like someone actually said that, I was always like, yes, because I used to be a big fan. I haven't really liked their last couple albums, but that's just me. But no, yeah, Former Ruins, he seems to be doing some more stuff. New Attachment has a lot of energy to it that I really like. And aside from just like really good production and just it sounding great, I actually took some time to read along with the lyrics. He has the lyrics on Bandcamp, and there's some really great stuff. The Field, it starts out as like what it seems to be this song to his wife, and just kind of being grateful for the journey that they've had together. But then near the end, with the last verse, he switches it to being addressed to God. And there's a really great verse in here that I love, and I'm just gonna quote it here. Between Calvary and Nazareth, we arrive at tougher passages. There are layers in the cabbages, more than what the surface shows. And I have often wondered if you could have given evidence that would have convinced them when you instead let them go. But this side of this eschaton, what is it you ask of us, but to let you press upon our necks your lighter yoke? Because I could not see round every bend when I reached out for your open hand, and yet I believe to the very end you will feel all we know. And that's just, I don't know, I just really love that. Basically talking about, like, all the people that have kind of gone by the wayside, and it's like, what do we do with that? But you know what, you're still with us. And he's just has a great way with lyrics. And New Attachment as well has some great lyrics too. It's basically, it goes along theme with our last episode of Tyson Matzenbacher, basically being critical of social media and AI and being on our phones and everything, and his whole struggle with that. And it's like, man, everyone's feeling the same thing, it seems. Tyson Matzenbacher, John Van Deusen, and former Ruins, and us. We just all want to get off our phones and off the internet. So yeah, and that one's a really fun one. So sorry, I was kind of talking a lot, but what were your feelings on these two tracks, Nick?
I didn't feel so as attached to them
Mm-hmm.
but like, I think it was this one and John Van Deusen's song that I've only listened to once, and then like when you brought it up, the themes for these songs, I was like, oh, okay, yeah, that's very nice.
Yeah, maybe get to get another listen through them. Give them a second chance. Well, yeah, I get that. I mean, especially if it's not really your style, then not going to be too into it. But I'm excited for what is to come and for the whole new album. I think for an independent artist with only having up to 3,000 listeners, he's got really great great production. Like, I'm very, very, I'm always impressed with how good his music sounds. So yeah, cool. Well, those are two singles from former Ruins, The Field, and New Attachment.
I've seen enough by now to wish I had. I need a form anew.
And next we'll talk about John Van Deusen by Gracious Powers, his new single. I actually happen to, just by happenstance, be wearing a John Van Deusen t-shirt. You can't really see it, but it's a Marathon Days t-shirt with the raccoon smoking a cigarette and holding the Bible.
Yeah.
It's a great. I got it at the at Audio Feed.
What was it?
Table.
I was over at that fleet market thing with my dad and brother earlier.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I saw a sweatshirt. Like, one of the first things I saw, it's a ghost that has a pumpkin book on one hand, and on the other hand, it looks like an iced coffee.
What? Oh,
Yeah.
that's cute.
Yeah. I was like, nice.
Mine isn't really cute because it's a raccoon smoking a cigarette, but whatever. Anyways, so by gracious powers, I think he's come out with 5 singles so far. And now keep in mind, this is going to be this album basically has like 50 tracks on it or something like that.
50.
Maybe no, that's an exaggeration. I can look it up. Okay, 18 tracks. Only 18 tracks, and this is volume 1, part 1. Sorry.
Oh man.
So we've only. It's really only like what 10% of the album.
Yeah, but that's still too much.
That's a lot.
That's too much to my standards.
Yeah, well, I have high hopes for this album, but by gracious powers, basically, just another, I mean, it's going to be a whole worship album, but that's basically what this is. It's talking about how, within the repeated phrase is, within the tempest I know that you're there, and so within the heartache I know that you care. So it's talking about how, through all the struggles and trials, God is still with us. And then in the end, we get the album title drop: as long as I am in the tent of this body, I will make a joyful noise. And I was wondering if that was ever going to actually pop up in the album, but there you go. So I really like it. I think I've loved all the string arrangements on all these songs. Very impressed by that and how he's done. Yeah, and it sounds pretty good. And I don't know. It's a song that is growing on me. I mean, I can't really say much else that I've already said about all these other songs. Just really great production and memorable melodies and heartfelt lyrics. So yeah, but Nick, you already kind of teased that you weren't really feeling this track as much.
Oh, I wasn't saying I wasn't feeling these tracks. It's just like I didn't listen to them enough.
Oh,
okay. Like the other stuff. So I'd be like, mm-hmm. But I'm doing my best, guys.
No, you're good. I mean, okay, then. Well, then, what are your overall, what are your concluding feelings on this track? Then
it's definitely still a bit of a shocker to hear John Van Deusen go like deep diving into through this style of music, and it's still and like it's still John Van Deusen,
right?
There's something because like there's some type of signature sound in his verse where it's like if you hear 2 different songs of his and it's like, and you can tell it's both by the same person. It's like,
yeah,
this guy's good. That's like, like my friend Dean, who's mixing my songs, says the same thing about my material because like there's most of them are all different from each other, but like they're still connected. They're still Nick Gundy, on to a certain level, just by the approach of it. So so that's very good. Well done, John Van Deusen.
Yeah, I always appreciate that about a lot of my favorite artists, how they're able to do. They just have a whole spectrum of different sounds, and yet it still sounds like them. And John does a great job at that. He can do the hard hitting punk rocking songs, and then he can do the heartfelt worship tunes. It's very versatile, and that's why I love just putting like John's music just like on a shuffle, because I know I'm going to get a lot of variety, and yet still within, the same. It's the same voice behind it, not just in a literal sense, but an emotional sense. It's the same person. So, and it's also kind of like, having followed his music for a while, and I'm sure I'm going to have these same sentiments when the album comes out. It's kind of cathartic, because as I've followed his music, you can hear the things that he's struggling with. But this album is a lot. It's already sounding more like a surrender than anything. It's like, hey, no matter what doubts I have or questions I have, ultimately you are God, and that's what I really appreciate about this so far. So, yeah, I'm excited to listen to all. Well, I guess the whole. It's probably going to be like an hour, an hour and a half of songs. I'm excited to hear all of it when it comes out, and it's coming out soon too. In about a month, it'll be out October, and I'm going to try to get him on the show to talk about it, because that was his idea. That's what that's what he suggested to me when I was talking to him.
Within the tempest, I know that you're there. Within the heart.
All right, moving along. Last song,
Sower,
but certainly not least, Sower. We've got Eric Stuff and Such. Know that's not his real name, but I don't really know how to pronounce it. Tough and Stuff. New single from his upcoming EP, Contemporary Christian Machine, which is also, that's a title track in the EP.
Yeah.
But new track, Corporate Capture. Now,
he's on a vendetta.
He is. He was basically, testing the waters with his song Hollywood in his last album.
So, question: did he do any of these songs over at his audio feed set?
He did Contemporary Christian Machine, and a lot of songs from I Want to See Clearly, and from his other EPs as well. So yeah, he did. I think he did Hollywood as well. He did Born Again. I think that's probably my favorite from him. But yeah, it was a great set too, full band and everything. Yeah. So this new song, Corporate Capture, seems to be a Contemporary Christian Machine was basically about the CCM industry. It seems that Corporate Capture is about record labels in particular. Specifically, he calls out UMG and Sony by name. And it's basically a commentary on how, they don't love the Lord, and yet, Christian artists still sign to them, and these record labels, they kind of have their artists by a chokehold, because they discourage being outspoken about controversial topics in religion and society and all that. And so it's basically a warning to not be affiliated with them. And I actually did. Eric actually did send me this. I got to preview it before it was even out. And this was something that I told him specifically, so he knows my thoughts. This is kind of an overall, not real criticism, but just kind of something that I've noticed about his music, especially the ones that are like sort of protesting against something in a way. Something that I've noticed about his songwriting that's sometimes kind of bugs me, but I also kind of love it at the same time, is that in his lyrics, he will switch narrators, basically. Like this song in particular, Corporate Capture, kind of is from the perspective of a certain, narrator. And then it switches over, and that narrator is kind of more, satirical kind of, but then it switches over basically to Eric himself being like, don't be aligned with these people, and this and that. And so I told him, I was like, yeah, you switch narrators a lot, and that kind of bugs me, but I also kind of love it. And I love it how he just takes a verse to be like, this is how I feel and this is what I think about this. It's very reminiscent. I've made this comparison before, but it's very reminiscent of Showbread. A lot of Josh Porter's writing is very like not beating around the bush at all. But they both do it in a very artful way. And all that to say, it's a banger of a track. It's just an all out rocker, but just also very convicting. So I talked for 500 minutes, Nick. What were your feelings on this song?
This song, well, sonically, it also reminded me of Daniel's Project Rosemont. I don't know.
Oh, I'm not familiar.
No? Okay, well, Daniel Hessel, I think that's his last name. His band's Rosemont, so he's another Michigan artist. So he's in the same circles as Chris Bernstorff and
oh, okay, yeah,
kept on hold Andrew
Visitor Pass.
Yeah. So he's in the same Michigan music scene as they all are.
Mm-hmm. So you're saying that they kind of have a similar kind of sound?
Yeah, that's what that one reminded me of.
Yeah, reminds me of Weezer.
And I'm like, yeah, Weezer. Okay, yeah. So I'm like, yeah, I mean, I agree. I'm not interested in being signed to any big labels.
Yeah,
today once because I'm like, I don't know.
So he's basically preaching to the choir with you,
yeah,
on this song. But it's great commentary. I'm excited to hear what the rest of the EP is going to be, and like all the other things that he's going to tackle.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's really good. He's really he's going full Norm Macdonald versus O.J. Simpson kind of stuff. But yeah, so I don't know. It's a good song, and it's well produced, and it's catchy, but also has a really cutthroat meaning behind it. And that's what you get. You get with Sower, you get like two sides. You get the more worshipful, biblically based theological stuff, and then lately he's been dipping his toes into calling out crap. Yeah. And I love it. I love this side of Sower, but I love both sides. So like I said, Born Again is my favorite.
So, who rules these people? They can't be free. Slaves to
But yeah, so that's that. It's Sower corporate capture.
Yep.
And that is my humble opinion. That's our humble opinion. I've been wanting to make a jingle for it, some sort of intro song, and I still haven't yet because I'm lazy. But someday I'll make the time to. I know what I want. I know what the song wants, what I want the song to be. But yeah.
Well, you're giving me an idea.
Well, I already have an idea, so you can't. I know what I want to do, so no suggestions.
No, it's more like
sorry.
I could make it, and then you can tell me yes or no.
Oh no, I already have in mind what I want, so that's okay. I appreciate it though.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, that's that. So I know what I want to talk about in the next episode.
Were we going to talk about the revival of house shows at some point?
We were, and then a bunch of stuff came up and distracted us, and then it no longer really became relevant. So maybe at some point we'll bring it back. Because we want with the like Relient K, and then first the All American Rejects, and then Relient K. When that stuff happened. Oh, did the Chainsmokers do that? I didn't even know.
They just did a house show.
That's actually I did not expect that for the Chainsmokers.
Yeah, so like college football is back and played for all the kids of Ohio State.
Oh yeah,
Ohio State Buckeyes.
Well, maybe once if it seems it's still like a relevant topic, because it hasn't really happened, but in a while, it just kind of lost its relevancy, and so I just wanted to talk about more topical things. But speaking of, the past couple of weeks or so have actually been really hot, involving Christian music, drama, and news. It's kind of like crazy. Like, of course, this is happening when we already have something that we want to talk about. Yeah. So there are a couple of things I wanted to talk about. One is the news revolving around Plum. I don't know if you're aware of what's going on with that.
There's one sign I like of hers, and no.
Well, a few years ago, she like deconstructed and deconverted, basically.
No, I did not know that.
Yeah. So she's been, people have been talking about her because she's made some statements recently. Well, she she rebranded, which it wasn't really much of a, Tiffany Arbuckle Lee. She's rebranded basically, but it's not really even a rebrand, but we'll talk about that. And we'll discuss, a couple of, I think it's 1 or 2 videos that she made talking about her faith. And so I just wanted to talk about that. The other thing we wanted to talk about, as long as we have time to talk about, this whole recent thing with Forrest Frank and Corey Asbury, this weird drama about, Forrest. Well, I say drama. It's really, really weird, and we'll talk about it. But like with Forrest, breaking his back and making the song, and then Corey Asbury and a bunch of other people making, parody videos of that, sort of, not really, but kind of making fun of it, just kind of, having fun with it. And then Forrest Frank, I don't know, getting a little sensitive about it. They've made amends, as of now, but I still want to talk about it 2 weeks after it's relevant. But that's how it is with us on the I'm Clifford Today show. Always going to be a couple weeks behind because we plan ahead. We planned for the Sean Feucht video episode 2 weeks in advance. And, after 2 weeks goes by, that's like 200 years in the internet.
Yep.
But we'll talk about that. We'll talk about Plum and Forrest Frank and Corey Asbury and all that stuff. It's going to be fun. Going to be a fun time. So, yeah. So, in the meantime, I'm still working on some videos. I'm trying to get a group of people together to film my fine arts video, trying to get some extras and such, and that'll probably be happening soon because the whole script is written. I just need to film it, and I've got plenty other ideas too that I kind of just want to start like working on all of them at once, and then like when they're done, and I get them out. So I don't know, I've had a new creative spark recently, so I'm trying to take advantage of that. But yeah, that's all we got. Thanks for watching. Make sure to do all the stuff. Leave a like and leave a comment and all that. Nick, did you have any parting words for us?
Yeah, happy September.
Oh yeah, it will be September, but oh yeah, happy Labor Day. This episode will be coming out on Labor Day.
Yeah, and that too. Yeah.
I'm so excited. I love having a long weekend. I love it. So be sure to spend your Labor Day watching and listening to us. It's the best way. Cool. All right. Well, we'll see you guys in a couple weeks, and we love you. Bye bye.
Yeah, bye.
This is Eric from Sower. You should definitely like and subscribe to I'm Clifford Today. I've done it. You should do it too. All right.